When you hear Marco Rubio, when you hear a lot of these different takes, it does make you realize, like, okay, we're actually in pretty good shape right now. Right here, this is the clip that I was looking at. This is Rubio yesterday.
Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I think that question being asked in the media, that's an irrelevant question.
No,
they have
that is the key point in U.S. intelligence assessments. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not.
The political decision had not
I know that better than you know that, and I know that that's not the case.
But I'm asking you whether the order was given.
I know that better than you know it.
It doesn't matter if the order was given. They have everything they need to build nuclear weapons. Why would you bury things in a mountain, 300 feet under the ground?
Right.
Why would you bury why do they have 60% enriched uranium? You don't need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons, because they can quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. They have. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No, they're trying to build an ICBM.
No, but
so
that's a question. That's a question. That's a question of intent, and you know, in the intelligence assessment, that
is Iran going to go to the moon? Holy shit, that was great.
Need 60% enriched uranium. The only countries in the world that have uranium at 60% are countries that have nuclear weapons, because they can quickly make it 90. They have all the elements. They have. Why do they have a space program? Is Iran going to go to the moon? No, they're trying to build an ICBM.
No, but that's a question. That's a question. That's a question of intent, and you know, in the intelligence assessment, that it was that Iran wanted to be a threshold state and use this leverage. I'm talking about the public March assessment, and that's why I was asking you if you know something more from March.
But that's also an inaccurate representation of it. That's an accurate representation of it. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Forget about intelligence. What the IAEA knows. They are enriching uranium well beyond anything you need for a civil nuclear program. So why would you enrich uranium at 60%? If you don't intend to one day use it to take it to 90 and build a weapon? Why are you developing ICBMs? Why do you have 8,000 short-range missiles and 2,000 to 3,000 long mid-range missiles that you continue to develop? Why do you do all these things? They have everything they need for a nuclear weapon. They have the delivery mechanisms. They have the enrichment capability. They have the highly enriched uranium that is stored. That's all we need to see.
Right. Well,
this is what I'm saying. Like, when you get out of the Twitter world and you actually listen to the people that we voted for President Trump, and then President Trump brought into this administration is significantly better than the last administration that he had. And you see the job that Marco Rubio has done up to this point. When you see how Pete Hegseth handles himself, when you see how JD Vance is handling things, this is a legitimate, like, A+ team that is handling this. And these guys are actually, like, giving you valid reasoning behind the decision, and you feel much better about it.
Especially in the hands of a regime that's already involved in terrorism and proxies and all kinds of things around. They are the source of all.
Yes, and no one's disputing that. I'm not doing that here. And they were censured at the IAEA for that enrichment and for violating their non-proliferation agreements. I was simply asking if we had intelligence that there was an order to weaponize, because you said weaponization ambitions.
Well, we have intelligence that they have everything they need to build a nuclear weapon, and that's more than enough.
Okay. Are you saying
Rubio just continues to impress? And shockingly enough, we are at a point where a lot of people seem to think that Rubio will be a valid contender to be maybe vice president in the next run. I'm still not there, but I really do love the job that he's done as Secretary of State under President Trump. He's done a great job. So I'm not going to take that away from him. I'm not convinced to say that I would like for him to be vice president in the next one, but he's definitely a front runner for a lot of people. So time will tell. Time will tell.